present. I want to first congratulate all of you for being here, and also thank you for agreeing to serve. Mr. Williams and Ms. Campbell, welcome. So we love seeing the new faces, and I am optimistic we're going to get a lot done over the next 4 years for the people of Gluckstadt. So thank you all, and congratulations for all of you being here. At this time, I'd like to recognize Pastor Brooks, who will lead us in prayer, and Mr. Powell, who will lead us in the pledge of allegiance. Please stand.
Let us all bow. Gracious Heavenly Father, truly we come thanking you for this blessed day and another day's journey. But Father, we come thanking you for this mayor and this board and aldermen and its new members. We pray for this city, oh Heavenly Father, as we always ask, that let things be done decently and in order. We pray for the residents and we pray for the businesses, that this city will be a beacon of light that sits up on the hill and draws good people, good businesses, people that are concerned about one another, that we may live together in peace, joy, and harmony, and have hearts of love. We just thank you in the precious name of Jesus. In Jesus' name we do ask. Amen.
Amen. Attention, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Be seated. All right, we're going to move to item number 3, the presented items, and we're going to take them a bit out of order. First thing I'd like to do is recognize Chief Hale for item 3B.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Mayor and board, this first one is going to be a certificate of accommodation for Lieutenant Potman, Officer Terry Manager, and our dispatch supervisor, Kristen Baker, who have all been rock stars for the city, police department, and helping us get dispatch going. In recognition of your exceptional teamwork, dedication, and leadership in the successful implementation of the city of Gluckstadt's first dispatch operations and communications infrastructure, your combined efforts laid the foundation for a vital system that enhances officer safety, improves response time, strengthens our department ability to serve the citizens of Gluckstadt. From the technical coordination and vendor communication to policy development and hands-on execution, each of you played a critical role in making the mission a success. Your hard work, professionalism, and commitment to excellence reflect the high standards of service, and you three are hereby, Lieutenant Pop is not here, but you three are hereby awarded the certificate of commendation, which stands as a symbol of the department's gratitude for a job well done. Side note, Mayor, dispatch is running great. We couldn't have done it without them and Lieutenant Pop, so they're rock stars.
Thank you. Chief, you wanted to handle now item 3A.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. Yes, sir. Next will be Officer of the Quarter for the second quarter of this year. In recognition of your outstanding dedication, proactive policing, and exceptional performance during the second quarter of the year, your efforts led directly to the seizure of approximately 19,000 deadly suspected fentanyl pills, a significant accomplishment in the ongoing fight against the opioid epidemic that has tragically claimed countless lives, not only in Madison County, but throughout the nation. You demonstrated the unwavering commitment by remaining actively involved in the investigation and follow-up efforts. Since April, Mayor and the board, she has made 15 misdemeanor arrests, 8 felony arrests, and issued 54 citations, all while responding to calls for service, patrolling our neighborhood and business areas, and engaging meaningfully with the community. Additionally, her vigilant traffic enforcement resulted in the seizure of a legally modified automatic firearm, including a Glock equipped with a switch, which makes it automatic, and an AR-15 style rifle with a lightning link, helping keep dangerous weapons off the street. Your exceptional work reflects the highest standards of law enforcement and brings great credit to yourself and the Gluckstadt Police Department. Therefore, you are hereby awarded Officer of the Quarter for the second quarter. Officer Corey Story. You get all the nice presents and prizes. You have we'd like to thank our sponsors. We have a gift card from Ms. Rab and Sonia Betty for Shell Station, Sullivan's card for $50. Casey Bridges donated several gift cards for local businesses, local restaurants. And then you have this also. See, where did it go? Oh, name tag goes on the plaque at headquarters. Yes, for everybody to see. Did we get a picture? No, don't. Thank you.
All right, at this time, we need to administer the oath of office to Ms. Kelly Morganti, who is Deputy Court Clerk. I will do that. Ms. Stephanie, you got babysitting duties?
I'll babysit for a minute. I'm not sure if she's cousin.
Why don't you come in?
Because she's here.
If you'll just raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Kelly Catherine Spivey Morganti,
I, Spivey Morganti,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully support
that I will faithfully support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Mississippi,
and the Constitution of the State of Mississippi,
and obey the laws thereof,
and obey the laws thereof,
that I am not disqualified
that I am not disqualified
from holding the office
from holding the office
of Deputy Court Clerk 1
of Deputy Court Clerk 1
for the City of
for
Gluckstadt,
the City of Gluckstadt,
that I will faithfully discharge the duties
that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office
of the office
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter. Sorry.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and then the last on our list of presented items, I'd like to recognize two individuals who have served on the Mayor's Youth Council, and they were recently awarded 2 Mayor's Youth Council scholarships, each in the amount of $500. At this time, I'd like to recognize Alex Davis and Jerica Lewis.
I saw him here.
They were just here.
They were just here. Let me see if they're home.
All right, if they all will come back to them.
Alex Davis.
She said they were here.
They were, they saw this and I think they thought they weren't.
Well, I can see why they would think that. Well, let's go on to the consent agenda. At this time, is there a motion for approval of the consent agenda items? Motion to approve. Taylor made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Was Ms. Bates seconded? All in favor? Any opposed? All right.
All right, this is Miss Mr. Davis.
And,
Jerica left,
well,
so.
I'm sorry about that. Mr. Davis, congratulations on, your scholarship through the Mayor's Youth Council. And, I know you, enjoyed your experience and obviously did a great job. So
He's a
thank
senior.
you. Thank you very much for
Where are you
that.
going to college?
Mississippi State.
So, yeah, going to state, so.
That's okay, you still get a job.
We're gonna get a picture with the board real quick. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, perfect job. Thank you.
Okay, so Brad, rethink that.
All right, the monthly budget reports in item 5 are just FYI matters. If there are questions, now's a good time to ask them. If there are no questions about that, we'll move on to item number 6. Any questions on item number 5? All right, item number 6A, Alderman Powell, you want to discuss German Fest, and then he also asked to be recognized to discuss potential 4th of July plans for next year.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, I know we've had discussions with the church and obviously at this point, the church is passing the German Fest on to the city. What I would like to see would be for us to put forth a committee, a date, a budget for October of 2026. So that gives us plenty of time to plan to bring German Fest back. There's an event that the citizens love. It brought people into the city, and I hate that it's been gone for the last couple of years. So that's kind of where I'm at. So like I said, I'd like to put forth a committee. I know we've got some property. Mr. Hutchison has been gracious and gave 2 different spots that we could use to host the event. So it's just a matter of putting forth that committee. I'll leave that up to you how you want to move forward on the committee part. I would like to see, since you're going into budget season, us having a budget. I know Mr. Dustin Alban has come and spoke before with us about that. He can be here tonight. He's getting ready for stuff going on up in Philadelphia. But he said he'd be back in August to discuss with us as well. But, I'm probably thinking a $30,000 to $40,000 budget to get us kind of kicked off.
Do you have a preference as to how we create the committee and?
Well, obviously, I would like to serve on it.
Yeah, I would like for you to serve.
Yes, sir. I'd like to either have you or an appointee from you serve on it. I don't know if you want to have everybody, kind of like we do the P&Z Commission, or I know Jeannie Robinson has spoke before, and she's big with the Christmas parade. I think she'd be a great asset to be on there. I did speak to Mr. Hutchison about serving on there, so just, I guess how the board wants to proceed with that.
Why don't you and I put our heads together and, having Lee Hutchinson on it, having somebody with some historical information about German Fest over the years, Mr. Menninger, or maybe somebody he knows.
You got somebody sitting on the end down there too.
So why don't between now and our next meeting, you and I put our heads together and see if some people want to serve on the committee. We'll bring that back to the board for consideration. And in the meantime, if any of you know of anybody who might want to serve on the committee, email me or call me and let me know. We'll make sure you're considered on that. So great idea. We need to have the German Fest back in our community. It's been missing now for several years, and that's a shame. So we want to try to get that back. So,
Sure. All
right. 4th of July.
So the 4th of July, so the Gluckstadt Rotary Club did a fantastic job. I don't know how many people attended the festival that they did put on, but it was great. They had an awesome turnout. From talking to Chief Hale, we got there by 11:15. He said that starting at 10 o'clock, people were rolling in, and it was just constant. I mean, there was cars everywhere, people everywhere. Obviously, the Rotary Club put this together a little bit smaller scale, but I would like to see the city partner with them next year on the event and see what we can do to help them out. Once again, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to look, but just whatever way that we can do to promote that event, to grow that event. They definitely laid a very good foundation. I'm all about laying a good foundation and build off of it, and they laid a great foundation to build on. So,
Why don't we have somebody from the Gluckstadt Rotary Club come to one of our next meetings and gauge what sort of involvement they want from the city, and if you can partner with them, that would be great. I think that'd be a great idea. So I will reach out to somebody with the Gluckstadt Rotary Club and have them come to one of our next meetings. That'll work for all of you guys. Okay.
Did you want the German Fest to happen this year?
I'm looking at 26. I think it'd be too much to do to try to do in 25, to do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the considerations is gonna have to be, you know, October of the year, you're competing with college football. So think about what day of the week we're gonna do it. Sunday afternoon might turn out better than Saturday.
Right.
But
And
that's,
budget wise, it would save a little bit on having to have lights at nighttime and that kind of stuff too, so.
So that's just something for the committee. I'm just throwing that out there because I've heard that already. So, okay, so that's good in terms of 6A. Any other discussion about that? Like I said, if you want some input into that, call me or email me or Mr. Powell, and we'll make sure your voice is heard in that sense. All right, item 6B has to do with the reappointment of the city's attorneys, firm of Mills, Scanlon, Dye, and Pittman. And there is an order before the board. Mr. Scanlon, I'm sorry, Mr. Mills and Mr. Giddy, you guys want to be heard on that?
It's a statutory procedure that's required to be done at this meeting with the mayor and board of aldermen, and we would request your consideration.
All right, I will tell you from my personal involvement with the city's lawyers over the last 4+ years, they've done a very good job for the city, and they've held our hands for not only the last 4 years, but the many years before that to get us incorporated. And I would certainly advocate for their reappointment. But now is a good time to discuss that, or I'll take a motion to appoint the Mills, Scanlon, Dye, and Pittman firm consistent with the language of this order.
Make that motion, sir.
All right, Mr. Powell made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Taylor seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, item 6C is something we added on, and that is, as everyone knows, we have a planning and zoning commission. Planning and zoning commissioners need to be reappointed or appointed in the first place if there is someone new. When the P&Z commission was constituted, it was constituted with each of the 5 aldermen appointing a resident of the city of Gluckstadt to serve on the P&Z commission. And I appointed 2 people who were not necessarily residents of the city, but that they owned businesses within the city. And I felt it was important for them to have some input, because a lot of what is decided at P&Z and, does affect businesses. And so over the last few weeks, I have invited new appointments or new nominations, and this is what I have. I intend to reappoint Melanie Greer and Andrew Duggar as my appointments. And then I have the following. Please let me know if I'm wrong. Mr. Taylor is renominating Phillips King. Ms. Bates is renominating Katrina Myrick. Mr. Powell is renominating Casey Syke. Ms. Campbell is appointing or nominating Lauren Bishop, and Mr. Williams is nominating Patrick Beasley. Do I have that right? Is there a need to discuss this slate of new P&Z commissioners? All right, if not, then I will take a motion to appoint this slate as the new planning and zoning commissioners. All right, I'll take Mr. Taylor having made a motion and Mr. Powell as second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, I'm assuming that everybody cleared it with them and that they all agreed to serve, and we will reach out to them and let them know. Obviously, you guys let them know as well, but and thank them for serving.
Next is another added item that we need to discuss, and that is the office of Mayor Pro Tem. As I appreciate it, Mayor Pro Tem is to be appointed by the board or elected by the board to serve in my place if I am unable to carry out the duties of mayor. Last time we did it, we elected a Mayor Pro Tem who served the complete 4-year term. And in having some brief discussions before tonight with some of you, I understand that there is at least some interest to maybe elect Mayor Pro Tems to each serve 1 year of the next 4-year term instead of having one individual serve for the entire 4 years. And so that certainly sounds like a great idea to me. Hopefully, I can continue to do my job, and if not, you never know what will happen. It would be certainly good to have somebody be able to step in and then to take turns. So I'm assuming then that what we're talking about is having a new election at the completion of 1 year of the Mayor Pro Tem serving. So, Mr. Giddy, you want to say something?
I would just add that it is when you elect a Mayor Pro Tem, it is for the duration of the entire board. So if whoever is elected tonight, at the end of that year, if they choose to resign from being Mayor Pro Tem, and then you can elect somebody new at the end of the year. But whoever's elected tonight would need to resign from being Mayor Pro Tem at the conclusion of the 1 year.
Oh, so we can't do it then on 1-year terms. It would have to require the acquiescence of whoever is elected tonight.
Yes, sir.
There are a number of Attorney General's opinions to that effect.
Okay. Okay, well.
But the resignation has worked in other municipalities. It does circulate the position on various aldermen.
Would they be allowed to be reelected if we chose to do it first, if we liked that person to do it?
Yeah, I think certainly the board could re-elect the Mayor Pro Tem. As I see it, the real issue is that if somebody is elected Mayor Pro Tem at the end of 1 year and they don't want to relinquish that position, then that's who's going to be the Mayor Pro Tem for the next 4 years, for the next 3 years. So with that in mind, hopefully we don't get to that point. Hopefully what we're talking about is at least a gentleman and gentlewoman's agreement that the person elected Mayor Pro Tem tonight will serve as 1 year and then will voluntarily relinquish that role, subject to being reelected, if that's what all of you decide to do. So with that said, does somebody want to nominate someone, or one of you want to volunteer to serve as Mayor Pro Tem?
I want to nominate Chase Powell.
I'll second. All right, so Mr. Powell has been nominated, and he has been seconded by Mr. Taylor. Any other nominations? All right, all in favor of Mr. Powell serving as Mayor Pro Tem, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries 5-0.
And I will say that I will voluntarily step down at the end of the 1-year term.
Mr. Mayor, I'll also make sure the minutes noted as well, that this is what was discussed.
Yep. Congratulations.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Okay. Item number 7. Miss Ruth.
Your worksheet shows you a list of current grants. For the first time, I've included since you're going to be hearing a lot about the Mayoral Health Council, which is a Department of Health grant, I've included this on the list. This is not, we don't get stuff from this. We're paid for deliverables, and it pays Dr. Span a stipend and it pays the city some. And it's a $5,000 grant. I don't think I've ever explained that to the board before. Is there any questions?
Okay.
And the other change also highlighted in yellow is just expended funds on the traffic grant. Your next item up is the Mayoral Health Council, and Dr. Stan will be presenting that. And she's gonna be talking about the health fair that is this week. It's on Thursday. Here is a list of vendors that we will have attending. Hope I can see some of y'all there. It's gonna be July 10th at St. Joe Parish Hall. Starts at 9 a.m. I first want to give you some information about the Mayor's Health Council, since we have 2 new aldermen. The Gloucester Mayor's Health Council is second year of operation, funded by the Mississippi Department of Health, Jackson Heart Study. The council meets with city leaders, residents, and businesses to promote overall health for all generations. Recent events sponsored by these partners are the 5K with vendors and the blood drive. And while the funding is small, the projected impact is immeasurable. Mayor Morrison is a strong proponent of the organization and healthy living. Updates are presented monthly at regular Board of Aldermen meetings. So as you see, I'm so excited about our health. I'm so thankful to have my partner, Ruth Marie, so patient with me. Ms. Bridges, Scott, Lindsay, Elizabeth, is she here? And Maya. It takes all of us for it to be successful. And with prayer, I'm thankful we got over 20 vendors from Thursday. So at each hour, from starting at 10 o'clock, we're gonna have demonstrations. We got a cooking demonstration gonna start at 12. We got a demonstration, have a pharmacist come and do adult vaccines. If you need adult vaccines, check her out. It's Sally. She's at Bloodstack Pharmacy. Pilates, I got a demonstration on Pilates. I have Stat Fitness to come and show how to do strength training. So proud to get UMC, Jackson, and Madison gonna be participating. So I'm just thankful. So I hope to see all of you here to represent. And like I said, this is our first annual Bloodstack Health Fair. I'm so excited. Again, thank y'all so much. I hope to see some of you faces.
Thank you. Awesome. Any questions of Dr. Spanish?
It starts at 9.
Starts at 9.
First demonstration at 10.
Starts at 9. But we're gonna set up starting at 8:30.
And we've got it advertised out on our
Yes.
social
I'll add
media and
another
all that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing it.
9 to 2. 9 to 2.
Who's gonna be doing the jujitsu?
Adamon is gonna be on. You know, I'm in jujitsu too. You know that? Did you know that?
No, but I'd love to see you.
But listen, they offer 10 free classes. I mean, Houston is excellent. But one of the ladies is gonna be doing the demonstration on Thursday.
Awesome. Thank you so much for all of this. I'll be there on Thursday sometime.
Thank
Not for
you.
the jujitsu part. All right, Ms. Ruth, item number 7C.
And this requires a vote, Mr. Mayor, accept the accept the JAG award amount. This is to purchase tablets for the PD.
Okay, that was what was approved as part of the consent agenda. And
Oh, okay.
so this is just to accept the grant amount in the amount of $8,000. We just approved purchasing them, as I recall.
We also have to accept the money though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is corresponds to the money that we spend.
Correct.
Okay. All right, is there a motion then to accept this $8,000 grant? Ms. Bates made the motion. Is there a second? Mr. Taylor seconds it. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you. And item number 7D.
Also requires a vote, and it's to accept the grant modification. This is our current police traffic services grant. It enforces occupant protection and speed. Occupant protection being seatbelt and child restraint. The modification gives us more money for equipment and personnel services.
So we use to pay our officers for traffic enforcement.
Correct.
Okay, $10,000
there a motion then to accept this grant modification?
Make the motion, sir.
Mr. Powell made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
That Mr. Williams? Congratulations, Mr. Williams. You are on board. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. All right, item number 8.
Yes, sir. I just have a couple of things to touch on. We have preparation for budget workshops going on currently. I'm going to be emailing the board here in the next few days a baseline budget for FY26. This is going to be the initial request from the departments. I encourage you to look over your budget for legislative as well as the mayoral budget to make sure that we don't need to make any amendments to it ahead of our first budget workshop on Friday. That budget workshop will be held again at noon this coming Friday. We intend for it to last about an hour or so. So please plan for that. Chastity and I have been working on a few HR items. We're going to be holding some team building classes for the staff. I'm sure they're going to be pumped about this. Cybersecurity and leadership classes. So she's been working with some of our friends like Todd Butler, employment lawyer, and Jason Camp at MSU on some of those classes, which I think will be a really beneficial thing for our staff. Y'all took new pictures, so we're working on updating the website, Gluckstead on the Go, to get all of that updated with the new board members, as well as the front door. We have some, it's finally y'all will be replacing the names on the door soon, and so it'll be official. We also are working on the ribbon cutting planning for July 30th for the PD. We have a meeting on that this Thursday to finalize details and the agenda for it. The mayor will be speaking as well as Attorney General Fitch. She will be here to say a few words. So it's coming together nicely. The swearing in, I hope everybody enjoyed that. Janet Brooks really did a fantastic job, as well as Elizabeth Taylor, in putting the swearing in together. So we're very grateful for their assistance with that. And then also, Maya and I have been working on a town hall and finalizing some of the details for it. So I'll be sending some information out probably in the next week or so on that and then promoting it. That's really all I have.
I can see how you would confuse Elizabeth Tyler with Elizabeth.
Did I say Elizabeth Taylor?
It was Elizabeth Tyler. I definitely see
She
that.
favors Elizabeth Taylor.
All right, any questions of Ms. Kellum about her general update? Okay,
Okay, so,
Mr. Mall, you want to add to the privilege license update? Any questions of Mr. Mall about the monthly privilege license update? Okay. All right, item number 8C is a request to approve an updated interlocal agreement with the county to assist us in the collection of ad valorem, special assessment taxes, etc. And we need to have an interlocal agreement in place with them to allow them to do that. Any questions about that? Okay. Is there then a motion to approve this interlocal agreement with Madison County Tax Collector and Assessor? Is that Ms. Campbell?
That's me.
Ms. Bates?
I'll second it.
Ms. Bates?
She said Campbell.
Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Campbell, second. All in favor? Any opposed? Awesome. All right, thank you guys for that. Ms. Kellum, you want to talk about budget season?
Yes, sir. I briefly touched on this. I would just encourage you to make sure that you're reviewing the calendar for budget season. We're hoping to keep these dates. There are tight deadlines with noticing requirements, with having our public hearing for the tax levy. So all of those are on your calendar at this point, and we are hoping not to change them. So again, each budget session should last about an hour to an hour and a half, and then we plan on holding our public hearing in August.
And so what we typically do is we get each department head to put forth a proposed budget for their department. That's all compiled by Mr. Youngblood. He's communicated with us today, and He's working on that. He will provide all of us with 25, 30 pages or so of budget worksheet, so you can see what each department is asking in terms of budget, how it compared to last year. It'll also show where we are now in terms of how much of the budget was spent last year. So it's a detailed process, but Mr. Youngblood does a good job along with Ms. Cullum and all of the department heads to provide us all of that information so we can look at it. And we'll have several different opportunities to look at it and discuss it. So there won't be a huge avalanche on our two new auditors. So that's good. Okay. All right, item number 80.
So, we are required by statute every 4 years now to submit bids for a public depository. So this is just a request to advertise for those bids. Basically, we get bids from banks that, you know, the board can decide if we're gonna end up putting, you know, public money into for whatever reason. So we can have one, we can have five, but that's up to the board. So this is just to request to notice the bid, and then I will be drafting a bid for them to come pick up.
So if the banks who hold the city's money now,
They would have to resubmit.
if they don't resubmit, we would have to withdraw the money from there and move it to somebody else who did.
Yes.
They have to provide notice, legal qualification, hold city funds. And then, as she said, you have the option of choosing one or more of those.
Okay, so at this time, we just need you guys' authority to draft a notice and advertise requesting the public depository bids. So are there any questions about that? All right, is there then a motion to authorize us to advertise? Ms. Campbell made a motion. She's on the board. Is there a second?
Second, sir.
Mr. Powell seconded. All in favor?
Uh,
Any opposed? Thank you, Ms. Campbell. All right, item number 8F.
Yes, so the Mississippi Municipal League requires us to have voting delegates at the upcoming conference in 2 weeks. And they basically pick the new president coming in and some other elected positions. So this is a resolution that we need to have a voting delegate and first alternate nominated for MML. So if y'all could select a voting delegate, and if that person is unable to go to MML for some reason, then an alternate will be sufficient.
We have two aldermen who are going to be graduating,
Yeah.
right? And both attending MML this year.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Bates and Mr. Powell. So although I don't get to make motions, I would urge you guys to nominate them to do that, since they're gonna be there in attendance, and they certainly earned their stripes by now being graduates. So I'll wait for a motion.
I nominate my Bates.
All right, there is a nomination now on the floor for Ms. Bates to be the voting delegate. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Taylor seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Ms. Bates has been voted to be the voting delegate. Now I need a motion to name the alternate.
Motion, Jace Powell be first alternate.
All right, Mr. Williams has nominated Alderman Powell to be the alternate. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Campbell seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, congratulations, Ms. Bates and Mr. Powell.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on your graduation resolution. All right, item number 8F.
Okay, and the last thing that I'm requesting from the
Oh,
board
I'm
is.
sorry, that was 8F.
I'm sorry, G, yes, sir.
Item 8G. I'm sorry for interrupting.
The last item I'm requesting from the board is to implement mandatory cyber security training. We have had some issues with people phishing for information. You know, prime example is Chris Buckner emailed me asking me to fix his bank account on payroll, and it was not Chris Buckner. So we've had, you know, some issues where I want all of the staff to be aware when somebody's trying to phish or Yeah, I mean, there's been some nightmare stories with public money, and I do not want to be one of them. So I would really request that the mayor and the board approve this and know that it's a good idea. And we will do it for free through the 20. So they offer this kind of training. It's essentially they'll go online, they'll complete courses. It'll let you know who else completed them. And I would ask that it's implemented for all staff members.
Okay, is there a motion then to implement the mandatory annual cybersecurity training for the city staff?
Make a motion, sir.
Mr. Powell made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Bates seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? And we can, as the mayor and the board, we can also participate in the training.
Of
as
course,
well.
I would suggest it. I mean, it's
You
a
know, the
great training.
county got taken for millions of dollars on a scam like this. We certainly don't want that to happen to us. So,
Yes. And
okay.
it's a great idea for everyone.
Yep. All right, item number 9, Mr. Hall.
Let's see, in the month of May, the building department issued 16 permits totaling $6,810. We completed a total of 26 inspections and closed them out with currently 295 permits active.
Any questions about Mr. Hall about his general update?
Can I ask about rentals?
We added 2 or 3 more. We've reached out again to Bear Creek and haven't got a final answer back as to whether they will assist us in that. We have begun looking, you know, especially it's that season where people are moving. So we're able to catch houses with for rent signs out. And Curtis is keeping rental packets in the trunk. So whenever he sees one marked for rent, he calls Bridget, no, we don't have that one. Then he goes and leaves a rental packet at that location. We've left 4 or 5 this week alone and identified, I know 3 more properties owned by a company called Conference, which is a large rental company for the nation. And we're leaving information at those too.
So the issue is people who are in the home rental business but aren't advising the city of that, and then they're not complying with our rental ordinance.
Correct.
Right? And the question is, how do we learn of those people if they choose not to be noticed or notified, or they don't come forward voluntarily? Bear Creek has so far been unwilling or unable to help us, right?
Correct.
So the question then is there any other way that we can determine when a property is a rental property versus not a rental property? Is there any other way to know?
Land record search. You know, again, if we see the property is owned by a certain name, such as Conrex, that would tell us that that's a rental. Otherwise, checking homestead exemption might tell us whether it's a second, third property. But otherwise, not really, other than searching records.
Have you gotten a response from the applications that y'all sent out in the last month that Curtis identified?
Not in the last week. We have had a couple come in since Curtis identified them and left packets.
All right. All right, let's go to item 9B.
This is an application for a variance on sign height for the Texaco located at 1743 Highway 51. Their current sign is 14 foot 6 inches tall, and they're looking to, they'll still be Texaco, but they're rebranding, refreshing the colors essentially of all the signage on the property. Currently, the ordinance only allows a 6 foot maximum height on signage, which means they would have to deconstruct that sign and bring it down to meet the current ordinance. They're asking for a variance on it to keep it as it exists, reskin it, and keep the existing digital display, but reskin the sign and keep it at 14 foot 6. That's a very wide right of way right there where it's located. It's about 5 feet off the right of way. The application stated 50 feet. It may be 50 feet from the road edge, but the actual right of way, we're only about 5 feet off. MDOT has a large right of way right there. The P and Z Commission discussed it, and they did vote unanimously to make a recommendation of denial for the variance.
Why can't they put a sign that meets our ordinance? I mean, they can, they just don't want to. They just want the big one up there.
Correct.
I mean,
They want the large one.
we've
for
made a
visibility.
lot of businesses in this community comply with our ordinance to a lot of wailing and moaning and gnashing of teeth, and I understand it. And I'll just leave it at that. All right, so before you is a request for a sign variance. Is there a motion to grant the sign variance?
Ask questions.
Yes, sir.
So we allowed this to happen after incorporation and grandfathered it in basically and didn't make them change the end?
Correct. The way the ordinance reads, it can exist until it has to be repaired or, in this instance, refaced. Anything that's more than approximately 50% the value of the sign, then at that point, they must come within current regulation.
Yeah. Thanks for explaining.
And why are they wanting to redo their sign? What's wrong with it right now?
Just to
Besides
refresh
that
the
it's fine.
colors.
Oh, they just refresh the colors.
Because they're gonna do that sign, they'll do the gas pumps, all that, they're changing from the, what was then standard black and red to the inverted red and black, the red and white.
And are they aware of the ordinance?
They are.
That's why they're asking for the variance, because they don't want to comply with the ordinance. Okay, is there a motion then to grant the Texaco sign variance? Is there a motion to deny the variance?
Motion.
Ms. Campbell made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Powell seconded. All in favor of denying the variance, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that variance then is
There's no
denied.
one here from Texaco.
I'm sorry?
There's no one here from Texaco.
I guess not. Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Powell. Mr. Butler, item number 10.
Good evening, board. For y'all, it is coming up on a time for in the new FY, we always advertise for the yearly term bids. So we're requesting the board's permission to advertise for term bids for FY 26.
You guys understand the term bid concept?
Not really.
Okay. Mr. Butler, why don't you explain that to them?
The way we do this, a term bid, basically purchasing policy, anything over 5,000, we need 2 quotes.
Right.
And there were 75, we need to do.
Yes, I remember doing that now.
This helps us streamline that.
So
Streamline the process, yes.
Okay.
So that if, say, with the road maintenance that's coming up later, they have the term bid for right now. So because of that, we're able to just use that company.
I remember that now.
So for some things like gravel, asphalt, et cetera, there's different kinds of types of material and Public Works can use a lot of. And we do term bids to get some of these at like set prices for a 6-month time period, because these things will fluctuate and typically they go up. This locks in. This also means, like you're kind of alluding to, if we have a big project, we already bidded the process out. We don't have to save their 5,000. We don't have to worry about it. It streamlines that aspect, but it locks in certain types of material to repair roads and all that kind of stuff.
Thank you.
I can assure you, before I heard the word term bid in this room, I knew nothing about it.
We are changing some of it. We've had some that we've never had bids for. We took those out. We've added a new one this year, which is installing storm drain pipe. So we're gonna get a bid for that. We're planning on trying to do a lot of that this coming FY.
Has the advantage also of allowing the department to react more quickly with needed commodities.
And it saves taxpayer money.
So this is just approval to allow him to advertise for term bids. So Is there a motion to authorize us to advertise for term bids?
Motion.
Mr. Taylor made the motion. Is there a second? Second. Mr. Williams seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 10B.
This is request for approval to pave Bear Creek and Bradshaw subdivisions, Bradshaw Ridge subdivision. Currently, we're looking at, this is a total of $497,770. These two neighborhoods are kind of the last on our list to bring up the standard from the older neighborhoods. There is Arrington, but we are waiting on what they're gonna do with the levee project. We don't want to pay that and then have tons of dump trucks moving in on it. So kind of wait and see what they're gonna do with that. And this will, some of these roads are in the county road plan to include Perry Cove, Bear Creek Circle, Bear Creek Court, Wells Court, Bradshaw Drive, and Bradshaw Crossing. The county has been willing to reimburse us for the amounts of those roads. This will include, we'll have to do an adjustment, so I just wanted to let the board know that, we'll have to do an adjustment in order to complete this.
So, Mr. Butler, this project, if approved, is gonna cost the city the $397,000.
It'll cost $497,770.
497.
Yes, sir.
And the additional roads that you mentioned that are being subject to the county road plan agreement, that's in addition to the.
No, that is included.
That's included. So overall, it's gonna cost the city something less than the $497,000.
That's my bad.
In other words, the.
Oh, yes. We'll get
400
reimbursed for the amounts for those, yes, sir. That's correct.
So what's the overall cost to the city? Have you determined that?
Roughly, I do not know that. I can get that to you all.
Something less than 497.
Yes, it will be less. It will be roughly, I think Distribution Drive was the only other one that was on there. That was about 170,000 of 427,000 that we got. So you're looking at less 300,000. So about $197,000, $200,000 that the city will actually pay for this.
Okay. Any questions of Mr. Buckner about this? We have, over the last several years, we have tried to take subdivisions in terms of those that needed repaving the worst. And these are the last two on the list, other than Arrington.
Other than Arrington, these are the last two. We've started slowly crack sealing in the newer neighborhoods as needed. We actually have two coming up, but it wasn't enough to meet the minimum, so we're trying to add some roads to it. But these two, Bradshaw Ridge is pretty bad. There's a couple spots in there that might flip your car if you're going too fast, so we need to get that up to standard.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Interlocal agreement, it says, do you have a memorandum of understanding with the county?
Yes, I believe it was attached.
I just want to make sure that it's reflecting the updated number. You said you added these two to it. I just want to make sure that interlocal matches what you're requesting.
Yeah, we didn't add anything to the interlocal agreement. This is all still the same.
Okay, is there then a motion to approve this paving plan to include the Bear Creek and Bradshaw Crossing subdivision? Ms. Bates made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Taylor seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item 10C.
All right, this is the request for pavement striping. Is that correct? Yes. On the roads out here that have just been paved, these roads have never, to my knowledge, been striped. This will bring everything up to our standard, to include stop bars, double yellow striping, as long as it's public road.
Okay, and that includes Distribution Drive, Hazelton Cove, American Way, and Enterprise Drive.
Yes, sir.
As far as I know, they've never been striped. Mr. Miniger, those roads ever been striped to your knowledge? I didn't think they were wide enough to stripe.
This will include the white line on the side of the road. So it's double yellow plus the white.
Skinny line. Put a skinny line. All right, it's gonna cost us $29,680.
Yes, sir.
Is there a motion then to approve this strike?
Mayor,
I'm sorry, yes, sir.
If we haven't done it yet, why are we spending money to do it now? Do we need to?
It's a commercial road. We don't normally residential roads in subdivisions, but on a commercial road, it's better to do
So
it.
we've just been waiting on funding?
We've been waiting to put the fresh coat of asphalt on. This will be part of the adjustment that I mentioned.
Yep, as long as I've been around here, those are borderline gravel roads.
Depends on how many 18 wheelers.
Yeah, it depends on how many 18 wheelers. So we just repaved them. And to bring them up to code per se, we need to stripe this.
Bring it up to our standard. It's been just a regular
It
black.
was
road.
gravel when I moved here.
All right, any other questions? I don't mean to rush through these things. If anybody has a question, y'all know to speak up if I don't ask you all. Anyway, is there a motion to approve this striping project?
Make the motion, sir.
All right, Mr. Powell made the motion. Is there a second? Mr. Taylor seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 10D.
All right, this is with MDOT. They're looking to enter into an agreement with us to install high mast lighting on the interstate. They gave us the option, multiple low mast poles or a bunch of high masts. I've been talking with the mayor. We think that this would be best to do high mast, keep it consistent coming from Ridgeland, Madison, working up to us, keep it all high mast. But talking with Lewis Electric, high mast has a lower maintenance cost as well. So trying to get the best for us. MDOT will install all this, do the construction, everything will be for them. We would just put the bill for the monthly bill afterwards. And that roughly comes out to be about $3,500. I called in a favor with Ridgeland to kind of see what they pay for theirs. They have, I think it's 13 or 15 lights, and we're getting about the same thing. So we'll be paying what they do. Naturally, this will go up and down summer and fall, but roughly 3,500 averaging out for the year.
A year or what?
Well, throughout the month, it's 3,500 a month.
And where will these go exactly? I'm trying to see it on this.
They'll be in the center median,
Okay.
going down through there, and on the on-ramp, off-ramps, coming on and off all the way through the city limits. Just past where they'll be doing the widening project coming up, MDOT's on the 6 lane from Buckstaff to Madison. That's where that bridge is going in. That's why it's a little bit extra wider in there. And it'll be just past the Gluckstadt Road interchange. Will not go all the way to West South Road.
Will it go where?
To West South Road.
Okay. I'm just curious, what does the short light look like?
They're on the side of the interstate now.
Okay.
They're the ones when you get off, they're right there off the edge. Just a single LED light that just gives, a little
Okay.
100-foot radius. It's
Yeah.
not the high mast that has the 6 lights.
Okay.
You can see the high mast lights when you drive through Jackson. None of them work.
Our two high masts don't work right now either.
Ours
Can't
are
figure
gonna
out what's
work.
going on with that.
Yeah.
Ours are gonna work.
Ours are gonna work.
And Lewis Electric has said they will help maintain these for us, so.
So is it a city maintaining it? You said Lewis would help.
Yeah, Lewis will help. We don't have the function ability right now.
I just didn't know if MDOT did that or.
No.
Okay.
We'll pay
We're in
Lewis
charge
Electric.
of it. Got it.
Part of the deal is MDOT installs them, pays for them, puts them all in. We have to take over maintenance, and we contract with Lewis to do that. And we, of course, have to pay the energy costs associated with them.
And that is different from, say, subdivision lights. Energy maintains the subdivision lights, but we will maintain these interstate lights.
So we're going to have the same number as Richmond?
Roughly. I can't remember if we were 13 and they were 15, or if we were 15 and they were 13.
All right, is there a motion then to?
I do have one more question.
I'm sorry, Mr. Powell.
So just from my understanding, so the ones on the interstate they'll do once they do the road widening project part, correct?
Correct.
So the ones.
It might take place beforehand. It just depends on what they're going to be doing.
So currently, like when you get off at the exit, at Buckstaff exit, none of those lights work.
The ones when you come off, except for the one that got hit by a car, they should work. The ones in the median that are there, they do not work.
Okay, I know every night, the nights I've gotten off the Buckshot exit and taken a left on west, none of those lights are ever working.
Mike was talking with the county when I got here and we tried to talk with them about getting those fixed. They were broken when we became a city. They're trying to put the bill to us.
So those are not NDOT lights then, those are?
County maintained.
Those are county.
Well, they were county maintained technically. They're all right now.
There's been some disagreements on who has the maintenance of those lights.
Okay, well, can we look at?
We don't pay the bill for them.
Because I mean, I think we really need to get those lights working. I mean, I've seen multiple people complain about it. You know, my wife complains about it all the time and it's legitimate. I mean, you get off and can't really see very good, so.
We can look into getting them fixed, but they're about to get replaced. I can get an
So you
estimate
got
on
to
what
replace
I can get an estimate on what it would cost to get fixed.
So those are, that's, I guess what my question was, that's NDOT's replacing those lights as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then they're not county, they're not.
We're not paying the bill for them.
Right, that's fine.
I believe the county's paying the bill for them. We've reached out to Energy to try to figure that out, but it's not us. I can tell you that.
All right. Okay, that clarifies, they're NDOT lights, but the county's putting the bill for them. Okay.
All right, is there a motion then to approve this memorandum agreement?
Motion.
Ms. Campbell made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Bates seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, item 10E.
All right, this comes from, we had a request from the engineer for Madison County. Stan with Neil Schaefer has asked me to bring this to y'all. They're going for a SS4A grant, which is Safe Streets for All. There have been some wrecks at Yandell and Weisenberger, whether it be somebody walking, somebody riding a bike, or just multiple wrecks in the intersection. They're looking to redo that section of Yandell, Weisenberger, and Highway 51 to extend the right turn lanes to make that a little bit more of an established intersection, update the traffic signals, do all that stuff right there. Right now it's wood poles, they flap in the wind, and they're our oldest lights that we have. It'd be nice to get them up. They're looking to do this in conjunction with the Yandell Road widening and the Weisenberger widening. They need to have this turned in by next month. So they're looking for just our support. Nothing financially. We are just saying we support this project and it helps them with scoring for their grant.
This is a massive project. We've had several meetings with the county and the engineers and all the interested parties. Do you remember the cost of the overall project? Something near $20 million, as I recall.
Including Weisenberger, that's probably pretty close to it.
And what they're looking to do is this grant is available to help offset some of the costs of that intersection in terms of traffic control and other issues there. And so they just want us to voice our support of their application for the grant. That's all that this is designed to do.
And the way they get grants and the way we get grants, once we start going for these grants, they're based off scoring. So there's certain levels that you get a certain amount of points for. This is just one of those ones that can put them 1 point ahead of somebody else and allow them to get there. I think support is only from, I'm on the committee now for this or the transportation alternatives, and the scoring is pretty tight, and this is just one that could just set you apart.
So we've circulated a letter to you guys. I'd like your authorization to sign this and send it to the Secretary of the Department of Transportation in support of the county's grant. Is there a motion?
Make the motion, sir.
Mr. Powell made the motion. Is there a second? Second. Mr. Taylor seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you. Chief Hale, item number 11.
So I had 2 questions for.
Good evening again.
Hold on, you have questions?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Chief, you over there, Mr. Butler.
I'm sorry. I had 2 questions. Could you, kind of fill us in on the city park, how we're at, as far as, we have any kind of update on anything there?
We got some construction estimates on what the park would cost and a little bit of timeline. It may take about a year to do the dirt work and construction that's needed. can I give overall amounts? Is that okay?
Let me just add to that. We had a meeting with the engineers who have prepared some very tentative cost estimates of the various components of the park. For instance, walking trail, what it'll cost to build bathrooms, what it'll cost to put playground equipment in. And we can provide that data to all of you if you just want to see it, but it's very preliminary, it's very tentative. We also have begun working with somebody who we think will partner with the city, a private entity, to help us offset some of those costs. So we have sent some of that information to them for their consideration to determine what parts or what phases of this project they may be willing to step in and do some of that. The overall cost of the project, do you recall the bottom line number of $4.5, $5.5 million? $6 million.
Once we add in our other numbers for the playground.
So we're talking about a very first class park that'll have an amphitheater, a splash pad, walking trails, very sophisticated park that will serve the community for a very long time, but also a very expensive project that can be phased out. I think we determined 4 phases.
I think 4 phases is very good.
And so we can circulate that information to you. It's just very preliminary right now.
And I will say that we talked with somebody about a CrossFit center that we were looking at to put up more towards Calhoun Station Parkway. That does come with trying to apply for a grant, and you have to basically be accepted before you can apply for the grant. So they were meeting with their board to kind of show what we are interested in, what we'd like to do, what we're trying to do with the park. I actually meet with them tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Thursday at 10 o'clock. So we'll know if we're able to get that piece of equipment sooner rather than later.
And what we're really trying to do is, obviously this is an enormous cost to the city if the city were to try to do it all. What we want to do is to try to partner with 1 or 2 private entities to help us offset some of the costs. And we've had a lot of interest in that, and I think that we are going to be successful in doing that. But you can probably understand that this is all pretty confidential right now moving forward.
And if y'all know anybody in the community that kind of wants to, donate anything or be a part of it, we're more than welcome to sit down and talk with people. Whether it be just moving dirt or they've got a spot they want to make a pond and they want to give us dirt, we'll take all the dirt.
What else, Mr.
And then, my contact with Arrington has told me that they've gotten the funding to move forward on the dam and on the pond there, for a latter part of this year. So I know as a city, we committed to do some funding to help them out and everything. So I just didn't know if you spoke to anybody yet, if you've heard from anybody from Arrington yet.
I have not. If you have contact, I'd love to hear, because if I can figure out where their construction entrance is, that changes the payment plan. So
Yeah, someone from Arrington reached out to us a few weeks ago and asked for us to provide them with documentation to support our agreed upon level of financial contribution, because they were having an important meeting at the time. We gave them the minutes for the meeting where that was approved. They took those minutes to whomever they were meeting with to get their funding. So we have had some communications with them, but I don't know what happened in the meeting.
It sounds like they got the funding, so we'll see going forward.
They just have a plan. I'm good with the plan. I just want to know where their construction is.
Well, I'll send you the contact. All right, thank you.
I did think of one question. When will the lights start to be built?
I do not know that right now. That's all on MDOT's time. MDOT's time can be 3 years from now, but they take time.
Yeah,
but I will get an estimate on what it takes to fix those lights out there. Right.
All right, Chief Hale.
Sure.
Hey, I will also say, I too did not know what term this was, so. Our general update, Mayor Board, since last board meeting, we wrote 204 citations, 33 arrests, 12 of those were felonies. Misdemeanors was 18, 3 DUIs, accidents 15, actually went down in accidents, so that's a good thing. As of to date, we served 293 warrants. Those are the people who aren't paying their tickets, believe it or not. So we go out, we look for them. The building, as Lindsay was saying earlier, the ribbon cutting is going to be July the 30th at 10 a.m. We got the baby box. We tested it. Myself and Carrie tested it this week. Everything's working fine. It's good to go. The alarms are all working dispatch. Been talking back and forth with Mariah, who has been our contact person. We're trying to get, I don't know if it's gonna work out, but we're trying to get it where their blessing is gonna be. Let's just say that she said she didn't know if she was gonna be able to do the blessing on the day of the ribbon cutting. I told her that we're not changing the ribbon cut. So for this third time, and we're not doing it again. And I said, maybe you need to make it happen. So it officially will be open to the public when we do the ribbon cutting and they bless it, but that, everything's working with that. We also recovered 5 weapons on traffic stops which were involved in narcotics. So that's 5 weapons off the street that won't hurt anyone. Construction on the interstate, y'all be aware that starting, it's been pushed back again. Thursday night going into Friday is when they will start. Madison did their side a week or two ago where they shut down the interstate from 11 at night till 5. It's done in 30-minute increments. So that, barring no weather, that starts this Thursday at 11, and we'll go to 5 a.m. where they'll shut it down in 30-minute increments. If there's not a lot of traffic, it won't affect traffic going through the interstate. The highway patrol will actually be the one shutting down the interstate. What's that PD? The only thing we'll have to do is just be on top of the bridge, making sure nobody goes around the barricades. So hopefully that will go through. It should be Thursday, Friday, I think, maybe Saturday and then Monday, I think, barring weather. So other than that, I think that's all I have for my general update.
Any questions of Chief Hale about his general update? About the PD in general, any questions?
I do have one question about the update. Over on, Stribling Extension, right there by the high school.
Yes.
We put that nice little sign up that registers speed. And I noticed the last couple times I've gone by there, it looks like it's dead or something, or it's just got a couple of LEDs.
That's not ours. I think
That's Lewis Electric's gonna be looking at that to get that fixed.
that is
We
the
got
city.
That's not the one that we bought. I thought we bought.
No, I didn't know. No, that wasn't one of the ones I was. That has been there.
It was damaged, we got the lights working, but it won't read speed, so, we're looking to get Lewis Electric to come over and take a look at it. They're,
I was thinking that was one that we
No,
purchased.
we didn't receive that one. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
All right, item 11B, I will handle. As you know, our police department building roof leaked numerous times over the last 6 or 8 months. And we had a long back and forth with Benchmark Construction, who certainly was leaning on the roofing contractor repeatedly. Recently, I met with David Marsh with Benchmark, who brought me a letter that you see from Carlisle acknowledging the 20-year roof warranty that is in place. Mr. Marsh hired a private company to come out and inspect the roof and found various sorts of issues with the roof. Those items apparently have all been repaired and remedied. It is subject to this 20-year warranty. And in the last several weeks, despite pretty significant rain, we have not had any further roof leaking. So this is about the best that we're going to be able to do with regard to this roofing issue. Hopefully it doesn't leak anymore, but if it does, they're subject to 20-year warranty. They're going to have to come out and repair it. But it really has been the only problem that we've had with the new building, at least from my perspective. This has been the biggest problem that we've had, that we have been constantly dealing with since we took over the police department. But I've been assured it's in writing, there's a 20-year warranty, And when there's a problem, they come out immediately to try to see what the problem is and fix it.
Yes. Right, we're only having just a few small problems there, just like some of the doors may not shut all the way. Back doors kind of, according to where the weather is, it kind of hangs up or won't shut. We have to pull a little bit harder, but.
All of that's been reported to Mr. Marsh.
Yes. Okay.
They're working on that.
Yes, sir. Kerry does a good job of keeping up with that. He is a man of many talents in job.
Okay, any questions about item 11B? All right, let's go to item 11C.
That's okay. Yes, I'm requesting, actually, the school board has actually requested that we, give them our approved to hire a school resource officer to put in the high school, just the high school, not any of the other schools. So the, starting salary of that would depend on the years of service as an officer, basically with what our scale is right now, is how many years they have when they come on, in law enforcement. And, they would definitely have to be certified. The school will pay during the 180 days at the school, that they're in school will pay for their salary, their overtime, their PERS, and taxes, Medicare, and Social Security. The only thing we will have to pay for this officer, which we will have to do it year round, would be insurance, medical insurance.
We can utilize them during the summer months.
Yes.
When school's not in.
Yes, in the days that school's not in, there will be your basic patrol officer out there doing one of the other duties of patrol.
So the school's paying him 180 days, we would pay him the rest?
Yes.
Have they asked any other city to do this?
All the other cities
Okay.
do this, yes. Madison, Ridgeland, that's how they, basically what it is we will budget them in our new budget coming up, and they reimburse us. We'll be paying up front, and then they reimburse us. That's something that they would have to set up with Nancy and finance, but they will reimburse.
How come they're not asking for the middle school?
The county, part of it has to do with Madison County. Madison County is also doing they're working on the middle school, the alternative school, and the elementary, which I'm happy because we've had to put an officer in each one of them. That would definitely affect our budget, vehicles, and all that. So yeah, it's
Awesome. Well, I mean, they have an officer at the middle school, so
yeah.
they're paying for him.
Yes, they
Okay.
they reimburse the county just like they do Madison PD and Ridgeland PD.
All right, so you want permission to post the job description and advertise for this person?
Yes, sir. And we would also have to enter into an interlocal agreement with Madison County School District, which is an MOU basically. That I think I provided. Yeah.
So you want us to approve the interlocal agreement and authorize you
Yes,
to
sir.
advertise tonight?
Yes, sir.
All right, is there a motion then to approve the interlocal agreement and advertise for this position?
Motion to approve.
All right, Mr. Williams made the motion. Is there a second?
A second.
Mr. Powell seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
All right, 11D. 11D.
Yeah, D is, for some of y'all that are just coming on, the board members, we had a vehicle get wrecked, when our fall back on May the 1st. Luckily, Officer Johnson was all right. Somebody pulled out of a neighborhood and he was able, luckily, to miss her, hit her in the door, but he hit her in the back. So she was okay. Everybody was okay, but we lost, in 3 years, I think we're doing pretty good. We lost our first vehicle that's ever been totaled. So what we're doing, I'm asking to get a police package Tahoe to, as an admin vehicle, and then I will pass my vehicle down to Lieutenant Potman, which is already equipped with blue lights and all that. And then Lieutenant Potman will pass his patrol vehicle, which is completely outfitted, into patrol to replace that vehicle that we lost. Which really saves us money in the long run, because the Tahoe will only need blue lights. You won't have to have a cage or and all the other stuff to go to it. And I think I've got 2 quotes there, one from Canada and one from Roger Staff.
Will the When you're passing down, will it be marked or will it be unmarked?
It'll be unmarked. It's gonna go to Lieutenant Poppin, which is it's an admin vehicle too.
And don't you have to return them in after a certain amount of years?
No. If we were leasing vehicles, you would have to do that. We've been fortunate and lucky enough to outright buy all of our vehicles.
This is the vehicle that we talked about last meeting. We talked about how it was gonna be paid for, right?
Yes, this one is actually, I didn't tell you, it's 51,000, 50,000 of it is actually not coming out of our budget that we actually budgeted for. 10,000 of it was from the, Miss Elizabeth and her great massive business alliance. We had a good turnout for the golf tournament, thank you. We got $14,848.40 back from the insurance company for the wrecked vehicle. And then we, believe it or not, 2 Tahoes that we actually paid $100 a piece for. We auctioned them off and got $14,250. So if anybody got any Tahoes sitting around they don't want?
If the police stuff doesn't work out for you, you can go in the car sale. So anyway, that kind of, it's important to see that this $51,971 is being offset by various things, not the least of which is our wonderful business alliance who generated a tremendous amount of, how much money they donated to us, $10,000?
$10,000 this time, total, I would say, 21,000. It was 6,000 the first time, 5,000 the second time. We've got great gym equipment because of them, and we got a great dog because of them.
And can I also mention that the budget amendment was done, in June for this, so it is the FY25 budget.
And then also the equipment is gonna be used from the damaged car, so we get the new one.
We went and actually, it's hot that day too, but we said, we went all the way down to Florence and took that stuff out like we had stole it, but we were happy, but that's gonna actually be used to put in, hopefully the new budget year, we're gonna ask for some vehicles and we'll use, but the radio's gonna actually put in Brian McCarty's, truck that we bought. Yes, all that stuff we will be able to reuse.
All right, so we have 2 quotes. You want us to authorize the purchase of the vehicle from Roger Stamps, $51,971.
Yes, sir.
All right, is there a motion then to approve this purchase?
Make the motion, sir.
Mr. Powell made the motion. Is there a second? Second. Mr. Taylor seconds it. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you, Chief Hale.
Thank you.
Anybody sign for public comment?
I believe Miss Kimberly Fox.
Ms. Fox.
All right, Miss Kimberly Fox. You live in Bear Creek
I
Crossing?
do, and I feel like I just got thrown under the bus.
Nobody gets thrown on the bus here,
About these rentals.
but, you want to speak on rentals and,
I'm just playing them.
you have the floor.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm really not a good speaker. I am Kimberly Fox, I'm the current HOA president. I actually came for help from the city because our HOA is just in a loop chasing. And as far as the rentals go, we need to know the consequences because they can't even pay their dues, much less register for them. I don't know what the answer is.
So Ms. Fox, let me interrupt you and see if I can understand why you're here.
Yes.
You need help
Okay,
from the city in what regard?
Here is what I am requesting help with one particular home. We have a home, it is a rental. It is in terrible condition. Top to bottom, falling apart. I brought pictures.
You have the address?
I have the address.
Okay.
It is 137 Bear Creek Circle.
Mr. Hall will take that down and he has the authority to go there and inspect that home.
He has. I have an email from a year ago, from Chris, stating that the building official and code enforcement visited the property this week. This was July 18th of last year. They couldn't do anything because it's private property. So then when the rental ordinance was passed, I was like, we're excited. So maybe something can be done now. It's not registered. I talked to Bridget. If it's not registered, y'all can't do anything. We recently had an incident there where I had to contact the chief because there's flies. We had to do a welfare check. A couple of his officers went in and there's maggots all over the house. This is what the yard looks like. You can't even close the garage. There's stuff spilling out.
Can we see that?
There is kids living here. I know the business that's on the other side of the fence behind them has complained. It's a newer business. I want to say Windows. It's right on Yandale, next to the cemetery. It's a new company, like windows, shades, things like that.
Okay, so let me interrupt you, Ms. Fox. Mr. Hall, if you can come here and take this podium for a second. As I appreciate it, we have general ordinances in the city that pertain to rundown properties. We have some enforcement capabilities to make people clean up their property, mow their grass, et cetera, don't we?
Yes, sir.
Separate and apart from the rental ordinance.
Correct.
And then we also have some authorities through the rental ordinance to do something to help bring this property up to spec, right?
Correct.
Okay.
We do.
And you can get out there tomorrow and make sure this is taken care of?
We can.
Okay.
Just also as a HOA standpoint, we are in legal with them. The homeowner, it's all going through, Homeland Management, but we've already started legal on them.
Through the homeowners
Through the homeowners association. They're right at 4,000 in delinquent assessments and fines because of the condition. We do fine them $25 a week. But
we're not gonna get in the homeowners association business, but we will definitely utilize our enforcement capabilities to make sure that we can do from the city's perspective what we're authorized to do. So thank you for bringing this to our attention. Mr. Buckner?
I did want to say, when we went out there, it was to inspect the retaining wall between the two.
I'm sorry, I can't
which
hear
is
you.
in that picture.
Yeah, the retaining wall that's in the pictures, we went out there at the time of the email to inspect that. What it is between the neighbors, the neighbor on this side, or I can't remember which way it goes, had the water going towards the retaining wall instead of towards the street. At the time, that was a dispute between neighbors, and that was the reason for the email.
We're gonna, I assure you, Ms. Fox, they're gonna be out there tomorrow and we're gonna do what we are authorized to do, okay?
I appreciate
And thank you for coming and bringing that to our attention.
Like I said, we didn't know how bad it was. I mean, actually we do because this lady right here lives next door to it. But after we sent the officers in and they reported back to me the conditions of the inside, I felt we needed to jump on this.
All right, thank you for doing that for us and hopefully we can make a difference and make it better for all of you.
I appreciate that.
Mayor, we'll just add that there is a statutory enforcement mechanism that the city has under Mississippi Code 21-1911. But in order for the city to be able to clean up the house or go inside and remove any, whatever could be a menace to the public health, safety, and welfare of the community, we'll have to properly notice that and have a public hearing, or not a public hearing, but a hearing on that before the city can adjudicate it a menace and then go in and can either clean it itself or pay to have it cost of the
Okay. But it starts with them going out there and inspecting.
They'll need to go get some pictures and stuff like that, but yes.
All right.
Yes, and then we can authorize payment, whether that be in the form of a lien or.
Thank you, Ms. Fox.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, we have the need to go into executive session. I would ask for a motion for us to enter into closed session. Make a motion. Mr. Taylor made a motion, Mr. Powell seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, we are in closed section. If you,